you're you, and how you run things is how you do it. But that doesn't matter if you can't teach that to other people.
Yep.
Like when you look at business, that's great if you can solely do that within your own business. You don't have to worry about anyone else. But now the more that we're looking at trying to take on more coaches to provide more of a service, we have to ensure that the same service is being provided and is being met across the whole board. So that's a whole new challenge that we're facing now too, is because we're like, okay, well, this has to come from the top. Like, it's easy to bark orders, but we don't take that boss mentality approach of being like, bark orders, do it like this. It's like, well, how do we show them? Like, what do we have to set up? What systems do we have to provide?
Full ownership.
Full ownership of it. And that's a challenge. Like, I haven't had to do that before. I haven't had people working underneath me before, working alongside me, I should say, we're providing them with work, and we need to ensure that it's run smoothly for them as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's a challenge.
Jaden.
Mitchell.
Things that are it.
Ghost poos.
Massive. Elaborate for people that are probably unsure.
Ghost poos. They're absolutely incredible. That to me is almost on par with like a really good working day. Picture this. You're coming home, full day work, busting to go to the toilet, King's Throne. Little bit of time on the toilet. You go sit down. Big one.
Can't rush greatness.
You cannot rush greatness. Full day of eating. It's all built up. It's all happening. Ready to go. Bang. Drops in the toilet. Time's done on the King's Throne. It's time to pack up shop, get everything sorted, get out of there, grab a little bit of toilet paper, fold it twice as you should. You should not be scrunching it. Weird.
Agreed.
Fold it twice. Option to fold again after you've been used 2 or 3 times if you want to be very practical with it. You wipe. Nothing on the paper.
One white wonder. One white wonder.
One wipe wonder. Wipe, nothing comes out. Nothing. Clean. Poo's just gone straight through. Hasn't touched the sides, mate. Like a perfect throw.
This is actually the opposite of what we did at the gym toilet a couple of weeks back.
One time. That was one time. Yeah, and it's not like I'm happy that happened. Like, I always get disappointed. It's like playing a game and you lose.
You lost. You lost
massively.
Come back in as well. Sort it.
One word, Mitchell. Shame.
Shame.
Just
I felt it for you.
Completely drenched in shame and toilet water because it flooded.
Deep cleaning. Massive fan of hooking in. We do it on a weekly basis at the gym, but at home, just hooking into a deep clean. Like, I find it really therapeutic.
With the whole house?
Yeah, like, it might be once a week, you just start going ham.
Deleting the dust.
The dishes, they're done. The kitchen bench, it's wiped down. The bathroom, sanitized. Lounge room, tidy.
You get that little hit, like a little dopamine rush, don't you?
You do, man. You sit down the end of it and you're like, this is it, bro. This is living.
I like it. Reverse, parallel park the first go. Bonus points if the arm goes up on the back of the front passenger when you look over and do the little...
You got your lady in the passenger seat.
Little lady in the passenger, you look over the shoulder, one hand on the steering wheel, giving it that little spin.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off, bang, in you go. Reverse it back, bang. When people are watching too, I love the pressure.
Yeah, you feel good.
I can't get enough of the pressure.
I fucked one last week.
Did ya?
Yeah, it's not good.
So that wasn't it.
Catching all the green lights on the way to somewhere.
Matthew McConaughey, eat your heart out.
Yeah, highly underrated. I'm just leaving it at that. I'm not even going to go into it.
Don't have to. I think it speaks for itself. Pork crackling cooked perfectly. You can fuck pork crackling.
Brother.
You can fuck it up.
When it's got a little bit of fat still on it as well.
But when you I think the rule of thumb is when you're sitting at the table and you can hear other people chewing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
ASMR, eat your heart.
It is. It's ASMR pork crackling.
I'm going to watch some of that tonight.
That is it. What, eating pork crackling?
Yeah, hard. 100%.
That's mad.
Fast customer service. Look, I'm not a guy that's in a rush all the time. I'm certainly not trying to say that.
But you appreciate good systems.
I love it. I love when I go to a cafe or a restaurant and they're not fucking shit up. They're fucking shit up in a good way. They're just getting shit done.
Good systems.
You can overdo it. You can, if you're a waitress or waitstaff, come over too many times and be like, are you ready? I'm like, I feel under the pump. I feel stressed. And now I'm just going to order.
You order some shit that you don't.
Some shit that happened recently. I'm not going to say where it was, but it happened. And
it's like an unspoken agreement. They just the right places know the right amount to come over. They know the right things to say. They leave you with, they come over, just a little check-in.
Yep.
They're out. It's confidence.
Water on the table, give me 5.
You know, sometimes they give you 6, that extra minute, because they know.
Brother, but when they give you 2, not it. Not
How can I go through all of that? I'm a slow reader. Driving to the shops when it's busy and getting a park right away. Christmas time, man. When you go into the shops and you just drive in, someone's pulling straight out and you just go straight in. There's never even a loop. You never even have to do the loop. You don't even have to go searching. It just sets up right there for you.
Doing the washing and finding that all the socks match perfectly. Now
Yours is very around cleaning.
Now this seems like, because this happened recently, this seems like something that maybe a lot of people are just going, well, wouldn't that be normal? But growing up in my household, there was mixers and matches and all this sort of shit. And I swear to God, our washing machine had like a little black hole in it, and you'd put stuff in there, wouldn't come out. And now, bro, when I put a load of washing on and I then put it out onto the clothesline, and then I then go and fold it, and they match perfectly.
There's something about it.
It is.
It's the way the world should work. It is. It really is. Okay, this one might be like ancient mythology, because I don't actually know what it sounds like in person, but I've heard stories about it, and I've heard it from afar too. And when I have heard it, it's like God created the noise.
I'm intrigued.
The sound the golf ball makes with a perfect connection. People who play golf would understand. It's essentially why I wake up in the morning at some point, because I'm just like, imagine what that would feel like with that sound if I was the one swinging the club. And I've heard it, and you can't unhear it.
I'm going to throw myself out there for this. When we went camping and I hit that long drive on, I can't remember what hole it was, but it connected, bro. And everyone was like, that was the drive of the day. And
you know,
that sound, you can't you can't replicate it. You can't. You can and you can't. It never happened ever again.
It can't happen again. When you hit that perfect sound, it's always just unique. It's like an Enigma code.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so it.
I'm going to leave you with a real strong one. Could go one or two ways.
Okay.
Something that is it. Maybe you're like crossing the street or something, or you're walking on the pathway and a random person is kind of heading in the same direction. And you both kind of do the stop, the little feet shuffle, and then you throw the hand out. And they're like, you know, you go sort of thing. And it's like what a good person. Like, because there's some shit people in the world that will just cut you off and keep going. That's it. When it's not it, is when you both do the little feet shuffle,
the little shimmy.
You both throw the hand out, and then you're both too nice. Nah, man, you go. Bro, that's all right. You go. No, it's sweet. Oh,
fucking go.
And then I just turn around and walk the other way.
Oh, you turn
and just have to pretend I'm not even going the same way.
Oh, that is the opposite of ghost poos. That's yucky poo poos.
Yeah,
don't ever do that again. Briggsy, I want to go a trip down memory lane. I want you to take me back to a memorable moment in your life that significantly changed your directory. Directory of your life. Directory?
Wait, trajectory.
Trajectory. No, that's right. Trajectory.
Oh.
A word that ends in Ori. Can be positive or negative?
We'll keep it positive.
I like that. That's good.
I would say the formation of Bridge the Gap.
Okay.
Which, spoken about, did it with Cooney and Jared.
Elaborate for me, please.
Yeah, that was a fucking awesome period, man. Like, it was on the back of some personal shit, and it was the first time that I've been like able to be myself on an emotional level around blokes. Always had good friendships, but it was never like that sort of dynamic, you know, where it was always like a safe space. Everything we were doing with Bridge the Gap, which, to clarify, was like a men's health group on the coast. The sort of main intention was just getting guys together, you know, something a little bit different. Maybe you got shit going on in your life and you just felt like you needed a supportive group to be around. So we used to do like weekly catch-ups. We'd do a run club. We had a massive turnout for a run club one time. Like, I would have been 100 people, like, if not more.
Wow.
And that was, I believe it was for Mental Health Week. So that was really cool down in Terrigal. But then every sort of second week, it was something like that, we were doing like private catch-ups. So it'd be actually Nick Sanham's old barber studio, private.
Oh, yeah.
In Jacob.
Yes.
We used to go there and, you know, because it was not a massive space, there'd be 10 to 12 guys, maybe 15 at times, all just hanging out. We'd grab a beer, sit down, we'd have essentially a topic of discussion. You know, and there was a moment for me on one of those nights. I was spoken to Cooney about it because he wasn't there that night. But dude, I just had I thought I had dealt with some shit that was on my mind. I was like, I think I've gotten over the top of that. And just being in like an environment where you feel like there is no judgment whatsoever. I know that old mate over here has got some shit going on. This guy over here, he's been battling some stuff as well. And they're showing up for me just as much as I'm showing up for them. But I just had this like fucking, I don't know what to call it, this massive breakdown. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, dude, like just fully shattered. I was like talking about this specific topic, and again, I was like, I've dealt with this stuff for sure. Like I've gotten on top of it, and it just ripped me, bro. Just fully ripped me apart.
Wow.
In a good way, in a really, really good way. I was just like, I felt like I needed it, and the reason that I was able to, get over that thing that was obviously damaging me at the time was just this fucking beautiful community that we had. Guys getting around each other and coffee catch-ups on the weekend. It was awesome, man. It was really awesome. And I think we don't run it anymore, but what it has led to was this massive focus that I have on wanting to help other people. And I think a lot of people want to help other people, which is fucking awesome. I think that should be a really important part of each person's life, is how you care for others. But that for me, man, was like a massive realization that how we treat other people can change their life.
Massively.
Like how you show up for other people can change their life as well. So it sparked a massive love for both my personal development mixed with wanting to help in other people. And dude, the fitness realm, our gym, we're a gym, but like I know that we're also a space for people to come to that just feel safe, man.
Yeah.
They want to get in there, they get stuck into their training, they have good chats with people in there at the same time. Our key journal work is obviously that, but on a deeper level, a little bit more intimate in that way. So yeah, bridge the gap for me was a big thing.
That's massive, man. I think what you touched on there with having a group as well, I think it's really hard to find a group setting where you genuinely feel like it's judgment free. I know like there's a lot that speak about it, but it's not something you can speak about. It's something that you feel.
Yes.
Like you can say everything in the world saying like we're no judgment, we're this, we're that, but if you don't feel it, you're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So to have a space like that, which is I think it's starting to come up a lot more. I think a lot more people are focusing on it, but it hasn't been a big thing, especially for guys. Like you guys starting that. I remember seeing you guys doing that. I was like, this is hectic. Like I didn't know anyone who was doing that, especially for people around that age too, like coming into that late adolescent, teens, coming into early adulthood. There was no kind of guidance like that. But you've definitely carried that into the gym space as well.
Yeah.
Like that's a massive thing that we're big on. I think we pride ourselves with that too, is we don't have to talk about that with the gym. Like we promote the gym as a gym facility because that's what it is. But I think the feel of it in there, based off the way that members talk to us and the way that they interact, we're creating that as well, which is really cool. And a lot of that comes from your background of doing that too, I would say.
Yeah, it was definitely a shift, man. Like I know when we started it, it really did feel like there was this change on the coast with guys. Like there was dudes that would reach out to me that like I knew wouldn't be reaching out to our group of mates about some of the stuff that they were battling or facing. And, during that, I needed to learn how to, I always say to you, like care, don't carry, like care for people, but it's not your responsibility to then take on everything that they're going through in their life and try and fix it. That's not what it was about at all. Which actually taught me amazing lessons for the key journal work that we do now. Like a lot of the people that we work with have been through some stuff, man. And it's like knowing how to keep boundaries in place while still providing one hell of a service for that person. So yeah, Bridge Gap was awesome, man. It was actually a part of my life that I value so much in the development of myself, like who I am. So
I love it, man. I think a lot more people need environments like that, especially, I mean, everyone does, but especially guys too, where they genuinely feel that they can speak without being judged. And again, it's a feel. It's not what you can talk about of what a space is. It's how it actually is.
It's an energy for sure.
It's an energy, bro.
What about you, mate? Talk to me.
Memorable moment. I was going to go back a bit, but this one I think definitely reflects on where we're at the moment a lot more as a change in trajectory. Trajectory. Prior to, I've spoken about this before, prior to becoming a PT, I was doing labouring work. I was working for a landscaping company. I was working with Pearso, our other coach, and a couple other guys. This one job we're on. For the most part, like the work wasn't too bad. Obviously you have a couple of like shit days, but I didn't mind being on the tools. I actually kind of enjoyed it. This one job working on Dangar Island. Now to explain Dangar Island for people who don't know where it is, it's off Brooklyn, but essentially it's this random island out in the water, like a little bit south.
Is it near Wiseman's Ferry or no?
Don't know. I don't think so. It's more like where, you know where the Hawkesbury Bridge is?
Yeah.
It's like way out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's like, it's out in the middle, essentially of nowhere. You have to catch a ferry there. There's no cars on it, no nothing. So we were doing this job under this house on Dangar Island for probably, oh God, I want to say like 3 or 4 months. I think it was actually longer. It probably dragged out to like 6 months. So every single day we were driving down there, catching a ferry, going over. You had to take all of your equipment, tools, everything, concrete, everything by ferry and then by wheelbarrow. And you had to walk it up this hill. So there's no cars. Like they had little buggies sometimes, but for the most part, you used to have to walk it up with a wheelbarrow. My mate and I were on this job underneath this house. We had to clear out underneath this house. There was this massive rock and concrete and old debris. And him and I had to clear this whole thing out. It was probably like 4 or 5 meters long. I'd say maybe like 2.5 meters high. I'm
just full breaking it down.
So we were on this job, and look, to be fair, respect the boss heaps. He was actually a great boss, but he told us before, he's like, look, this is a shit job. He's like, there's no other way around it. It's just a shit job. My mate and I were on this job for probably like 2 or 3 months every single day from 7:30, 8 o'clock till like 4:35 on jackhammers, 8 hours a day, just grinding away little bits of rock. And because of where it was, and it was on a hill, we had to put the rock in these tiny little like water buckets, like the buckets that you use to wash your car.
Yes. Yeah.
So you'd fill them up with like half a dozen little pieces of rock, and you'd have to walk them down a set of 40 stairs, dump it, and come back up. And we did that for probably like, close to 2 or 3 months. No music, no nothing.
Testing
just
patience.
We genuinely got fully depressed. Like we proper fell into like a massive depression. And there was, by the time I was getting to the end, I was like, is this what my fucking life is? Like it was
sound like that. I shouldn't laugh because it's heavy, but it's like, what a realization though.
In my head, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I'd just been to uni. I'd finished my sports science degree. I was trying to save money, but I was like, how am I here? Like, what am I?
Yeah.
No one's going to see this job. It felt like for nothing. It was fucking horrible. Like I've got videos of us in swimming caps and Speedos jackhammering just to try and stop ourselves
Trying to make it fun
from going insane and to seeing how much we could get away with without our boss knowing.
I've seen that video and like Caleb's like upside down or so, hanging off something.
It was fucked, but we literally fell into like, I genuinely fell into a depression with it. Like it was really, really hard. And I got to this point, I was like, there's no fucking way that I can keep doing this. And that was a turning point for me, because one of those days when I came home, I went on my laptop and I registered my business name, Strengthwide. I hesitated on it for ages, but the days got just longer and longer, and that got worse to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like this is it. And we finished that job, and once we finished it, I was like, that's it. So that was a big turning point for me, that the work got that bad and that mind numbing for me, that I was like, I have to be doing something more. I have to work with people. I can't be just under a house jackhammering for hours a day. That was a massive turning point in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm here now running a gym because I have PTSD from using jackhammers.
Whereas sometimes you got to go through shit. And look, most of the time people find themselves in the direction that they want to take after going through shitty experiences.
Sometimes you're not running towards something, you're running away from something.
Yeah.
Literally.
Dude, we talk about that all the time. Like I fear doing what I used to do just as much as the excitement of going to all these new places where I'm trying to get with my life.
Yep. 100%.
Big realization.
Massively. All right, Brigger, struggles with business. We've been running the gym for just over 12 months now. You've been obviously running your own PT business too.
Yep.
You're running the Key Journal. Dive into some of the biggest struggles that you found with running the gym, and even more with business and running a small business, because obviously I think people from the outside can look at it and it seems good, and for the most part it is.
Post a couple little fitness reels,
couple of reels, content. Oh, it's pumping. Look at that. Everything's good. Happy days. It's just all poof, and it's just there now.
Rainbows.
Dive into some of the struggles that you've faced or you've seen whilst running a small business for me.
Yeah, initially, so when I first started in the fitness space, I, did finish my Cert 3, Cert 4, and it was all about trying to build clientele. So the hardest thing initially was getting people to trust in what I could provide them, which is hard because you've never done it. So you have no proof to go off, right? Whereas now we do. So initially it was that, and that excited me at the same time though, because it was like no one's coming to fucking save you. Like, you need to do this, otherwise it crashes and burns. Look, building up clientele is definitely number one, and you just need to be happy to cop an L, like first and foremost. I actually had a really good chat with Tay about this, just about someone that we know. Like, I think you need to be, if you're doing something brand new, you need to be okay of like not making money for a period. Like, stop trying to make money in the first fucking week, the first month, first quarter. Like,
Yeah.
give as much value as possible, give as much free shit as possible, prove to people, and then ultimately the greater market that you can do what you're saying. And then, it should be a little bit more of a success. But I think people get greedy too early with money. Regarding the gym, so progressed from that point, and then look, my online business went really, really well, and it still is going really, really well. But the biggest challenges with the gym would be, I felt like I was kind of going back to when I first started in the space of, fuck, we're asking people to join our gym, but we haven't proved ourselves. Like, we haven't had the time because we haven't been operating, right? So initially it was trying to get people to join our gym without us having any proof in the pudding. That was tough, for sure. Trying to get members initially, like, we got some for sure, and it's been building since that point, which is great. But that was probably the hardest thing, I think. Overcoming the battle of our business model. At the start, it was different to what we run now. It worked for a little bit until it probably started to not so much. And, we actually went to a great seminar, and it was called Adapt or Die with Goggins, and he didn't put it on, someone else put it on. But that was a massive eye-opener for me. I was like, that mentality is pretty hardcore, like, it's pretty intense, but it's true for business. Like, we had to find a way to tweak and adapt, and look, we did. And then again, I think why we're working so well now is like, we were able to persevere through that period of change. A lot of people see that it's not working, fucking start freaking out. Just find another avenue, find a new angle to come in at. Be prepared to put in the work for the next couple months to now build up a reputation around the new model and the new way of doing things. And like, we're in the position that we're in now. I think that's it, pretty much, for me.
Ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah. What about you? What do you reckon?
I actually wrote this down so I didn't forget it, because I've recognized this a lot more. I don't think it's just in Australia. I think it's everywhere. But typically, as Australians, like, we love an underdog, and it's so easy to root for an underdog. But that only goes, I feel like, to a point where if you are or perceived as doing better than other people, that narrative just quickly changes. Like, a lot of people will support people up until a point, as to then when they're starting to do good, that it's starting to look like it's better. And then a lot of the times it can change, which for me, the struggle with that is, for the gym specifically as well, is what I wrote down of, the more of a role that you take on, the greater responsibility you have for others and potentially their happiness, because they either can't do it themselves or they start relying on these external sources or factors. What I mean by that is, for us, when we're serving people in the gym as a small business, to them, we're serving, like, it's one person. But on our end, we're serving over 150 people at the moment.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 of us running a gym, and yes, we have our team, but there's 2 of us running our gym, servicing over 150 people, including our own members. Like, that's a lot of people to service, and you're greatly outnumbered in terms of the ratio. It's really hard. Like, it's really hard to ensure that things don't slip through the cracks, because you're trying to please everybody and offer a service as best as you can. But it's very easy for little things to slip up, or someone's happiness not to be completely met. And then whether that comes through knowing, not knowing, someone potentially leaving the gym, whatever it might be, that's still like really hard to swallow. Like, you have to build a level of resilience to be able to handle that. And that's the scary thing too, is for me, like, everyone who's around us has been so supportive, which has been fantastic. But, the part of me in my head, the scary part is like, what can potentially be said behind the scenes, or what could potentially happen the further we start to go down the track with this, like, to the point where, I'm not saying it will happen, like, we are who we are and we keep it, but you see it so often on social media, man. Like, as soon as people start doing well, it gets to a point where people support, and then it's like this cutoff point, man. It's like you see with famous people, or people just going out of the comfort zone and doing something that other people don't. They just get bashed for it, man. They get absolutely battered for it.
Yeah, I've seen that that's something I know that you struggle with. We've spoken about a bit.
It's just really interesting, because, like, I know you can look at it and be like, oh, well, people who and I put this in like quotations, who are above you are never going to say bad things about you. It's always people below. And I don't really like using that term because it looks like you're putting in a hierarchy. But regardless, you can still be like focusing on trying to provide the best service in business possible. And people can still start to look at a negative way if you start doing really well. Because whether you're making good money or whether you're being successful or whether you're coming home and being a really good partner or really enjoying your job, and people don't like hearing that because they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's really easy for other people to not take accountability for their lives and put that pressure onto you. And then for me, I feel like there's a role that I need to serve with that. And I'm constantly trying to be better and better and better. But obviously the more that we take on and the gym grows, you're servicing more and more people that if even a small thing slips through the cracks, I take it really personally.
Yeah, we experienced that recently with a situation. So I totally get what you're saying. And I think the balancing act for us is, at the moment, I feel like we're serving everyone so well in our gym, and the feedback is that. But you're right. But I think where we can stay on top of this is, we're not taking in, 10, 20, 100 people at a time, because we want to keep our gym experience fairly intimate, right? So I think as a new member comes in, it's not too much for us to then continue to still give enough attention to this person whilst they're training, or this person even outside of the gym. I don't see us facing that problem in the future. I think we're in tune enough and aware enough of how we want to show up for the people that are in our community, that I don't ever see us facing that problem of the whole like oversaturation, people feeling like they're just a number sort of thing.
Well, even that leads to the next thing of like struggling is then, okay, well, you don't let that happen. So we look at scaling. Like that's why we've brought on more coaches to provide that. Then even scaling is like difficult in itself, because then we talked about it with the Key Journal. You want to ensure that the service is provided exactly the same. Yeah. So that faces its own challenges, because you're you and how you run things is how you do it. But that doesn't matter if you can't teach that to other people.
Yep.
Like when you look at business, that's great if you can solely do that within your own business. You don't have to worry about anyone else. But now the more that we're looking at trying to take on more coaches to provide more of a service, we have to ensure that the same service is being provided and is being met across the whole board. So that's a whole new challenge that we're facing now too, is because we're like, okay, well, this has to come from the top. Like it's easy to bark orders, but we don't take that boss mentality approach of being like, bark orders, do it like this. It's like, well, how do we show them? Like, what do we have to set up? What systems do we have to provide?
Full ownership.
Full ownership of it. And that's a challenge. Like I haven't had to do that before. I haven't had people working underneath me before, working alongside me, I should say, to where we're providing them with work, and we need to ensure that it's run smoothly for them as well.
Yeah.
Like that's a challenge.
It's funny, every fear that I've ever had regarding scaling are also warranted. When I was there's so many perks to just working on your own business, man. And
100%.
Taking control of every part of the ultimate success of what you're doing. But you are capped, definitely, as to how many people you can impact, how many people you can work with, and all that side of things. So yeah, you're right. For us, it's like taking full ownership of the protocols that we want to put in place to ensure that if a new member signs up, the experience is the exact same, whether they're working with myself, yourself, or one of our coaches that we have on board. And so, yeah, it's a balancing act, bro.
Well, the last one of that too is money. It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get given any of this. Like I put in every cent of savings that I had into it.
Yep. Feel ya.
Every cent. Giving money, nothing. Just.
Did we ever talk about the 700?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, like I don't think no one would know this except for us, and I'm happy to chat about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Like when Jaden and I opened the space, we had overheads, obviously.
Just to preface this too, this is after we've spent all of our money into the actual gym. So this is when like we've spent all the money on setting everything up and getting everything done. This is after this.
I reckon it would have been the first 6 to 8 weeks that we were putting in about $700 each.
Even longer. I reckon it was closer to 4 or 5 months that we only started pulling it back. Yeah.
Don't tell me that. That gives me so much
I know.
Oh my God. You reckon?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Yeah, like to stay on top of our bills and overheads, like we were putting in another $700 a week each. Right? Just to stay on top of everything, to ensure that everything was running. And then that came down as we started to increase our membership base. And obviously with that came money. We were able to taper that down.
That was on top of all like normal living bills too. So that was on top of paying rent, paying for all normal bills, paying for food, paying for every other thing that you'd usually do, which again, like people pay mortgages and things like that, but essentially felt like we're paying 2 mortgages.
Yeah, like easily the first 3 months, definitely. We were paying for the business to run.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably just a little minor struggle.
Just a little bit whilst trying to run 2 businesses. Yeah. Good fun.
Good fun.
But like, fuck man, when you got your eyes set on something and you know you can have a fucking impact with
Just do your job. Just do it.
Just got to do it.
Just do it.
Just got to do it.
That's all it is.
Fuck, that's crazy to look back on. Oh my God.
Wild, eh?
On a lighter subject, which is still fucking expensive, head to toe, how do you deck yourself out for the perfect run and the perfect training session?
I love this. Let's go. I'm a Nike snob. I'm Nike snob through and through. I don't really wear Adidas. Don't know why. Maybe lads ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I used to
got short.
rock Adidas soccer boots. Loved them. Amazing. I don't know. I just
Phantoms?
don't. Adidas. I don't know. I think they're Nike. Just stay in your fucking lane.
Alright.
I'd go black Nike run hat, Nike dry fit shirt, black or white preference. I don't have a white one. I wear a black one, so I'll stick with black. We'll go black on black.
Yep.
The Nike 5-inch shorts.
Huge.
Massive little add-on here. This is important. With the little pocket at the back for your key.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
You're a big fan.
Massive fan of that. I'm rocking the Under Armour skins, the half-length skins under the Nikes too.
Hard rate.
A little bit cold. If it's warmer, I don't double up. But with the cold weather at the moment, I like putting them in. They got a little extra pocket in there too for the phone if you need. Black Nike long socks, ones that sit just below the calf, not higher than the calf, just below where it attaches in.
Yeah.
It really makes them pop.
Cut off the base of the ankle.
Cut off, yeah. So not
Solia sits, fuck it off.
yeah, fuck it off.
Gastroc.
Not the ankle sock, just a nice little length there. And at the moment, I rock the Saucony, however you want to say it. I like Saucony. Saucony sounds better. Rocking them, the Endorphin Speeds. Or I've just changed over, stealing Molly's shoes, the Asics Kayano gels.
Huge.
The Gel 30s. I've been rocking them and the Fluoro Race Sunnies. There's not a brand
Can we
of
get
them.
a photo of that? Next time you drip down,
Yeah.
can you get a photo?
Yeah,
Please.
Yeah, I'll hook you up. I'll send it.
Everyone that's listening right now is like, I need to see Jaden and all that stuff.
I got you. What about you, mate?
Or in nothing.
Oh.
All right, for me, I got two little breakdowns here. Run first. White shoes, Asics, Kayanos. I ran in the Nova Blast on the weekend and I got a little bit of shin pain. A little bit. So
We can't go back there.
I'm not saying this is a preface or a clarification. I'm not saying it is that shoe specifically. I just have really wide feet and the Kayanos are a lot wider for me. So either or, depend on the length of the run. From there, we're going to go long white socks. Now, length, important. Not long, just below.
Same length as
Gastro.
mine.
Yeah. Skins, must. I've actually got these 2 pairs of Nike skins that I rate. Love them. 5-inch shorts. I've got a pair of Nike 5-inch shorts. I love the look of them with skins on.
Colour.
Out.
We need colour.
Black.
Yeah, good.
Black with a grey tick.
Solid.
Running belt. Color doesn't matter. It's hidden. Heart rate monitor. Big fan.
I forgot the accessories. Damn.
Yeah, it's because you don't care about your health and fitness like I do. A singlet. Big fan of running a singlet.
What singlet? What kind of singlet are we
Bro,
talking? Because
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo, okay.
Uniqlo, got some fucking good shit.
I like it.
BPN hat.
I forgot that.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say you're slitting, bro.
Man.
A watch, a Garmin watch. What do you just run off feel
Well, that's
all the
standard.
time?
No, that's gold standard. People assume. They know that. I don't even have to talk about that.
All right, gym attire, a little bit different. Still so important. Long socks, right? We got vibe here. You could go white or black for this drip. Crocs.
Okay, stop.
Oh, okay.
This is where this is important for colour, right? Because white or black really changes. What colour Crocs are we talking?
They're black Crocs.
Black Crocs?
Black Crocs. Black Crocs.
Black Crocs?
Yep.
Black socks. I don't know about the white.
Now the white goes with the black Crocs.
Sure.
Trust it. I've worn it fucking like 18 million times.
Okay.
From there, we're going Gymshark shorts. Big fan of just the basics. Black. Got a new pair of grey ones, which I quite like as well. My drip, just I'm going to cut myself off here because my drip in my recent reel that I put up of me doing a sweaty sesh,
You didn't have a shirt on.
didn't have a shirt on, and I got ripped for the drip.
Did ya?
Yeah, Claire wasn't happy with it. I had grey shorts. Which
Oh, yeah, you can't be doing
I was
that.
dripping sweat everywhere.
Butt sweat.
Go watch the video if you want to be scarred for life. I had black socks, but then white shoes. I know.
Oh my God.
I know,
No,
it
this is the
wasn't it.
complete opposite of what you're saying now.
I know. And because I was like, I didn't know if I was going to shoot a video that day, but I was like, hey, I'm in my own gym. No one else is here.
What you
Let's
doing?
go.
What you
Chuck
do in
on.
private? What you do in public, brother?
Yeah. What you do, yeah. Okay. Fuck yeah. Anyway, back to this. So long socks, we'll go black. Black Crocs, Gymshark shorts, black. Long under tee can be white or black for this one, for sure. Neutral, coloured, oversized tee over the top of that.
Huge.
Sometimes hat, sometimes
Maybe
not.
not. I think the neutral colours are the go here. Black or white safe.
It is.
You can dabble with like a little bit of brown or la creme. A little bit of the la creme.
I was around the cream the other day.
Little cream. What did I say? The grey or a little bit of brown too. You can mix a little bit of brown in there as well.
Hard rate. Okay, the next two quick things.
All right.
We're going to save the...
Yeah, I like that. Go into it.
All right, we're going into our 2 in 2.
You've got this, Brigger. Take us away on this one.
2 topics / points of interest regarding fitness. So, sleep. Going to quickly touch on it. It's fucking important, man. It's fucking important.
It is important.
This is probably the thing that I've placed the biggest emphasis on around my health and fitness journey over the past probably 2 years. If your recovery is fantastic, you're going to be able to show up better for that next session. Your body's actually going to adapt, right? You can do the hard shit. Get in the gym, flog yourself, right? If you're going home having a fucking 5-6 hours sleep, you're not recovering well. You're not actually getting the adaptations that you're looking for from the stimulus that you've just flogged yourself with. It's useless, man. Unless you're on the gear. I know heaps of people just run gear. So if you're just pumping that, you're probably going to be sweet. But most people in our facility aren't.
Mate, when you want to talk about performance enhancers, sleep's the biggest one.
It is.
Without a doubt. Shadow of a doubt, sleep is the biggest performance enhancer there is.
7 to 9 hours, get it into you.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. The other thing is form. I mean, we all place a massive emphasis on this, but it's actually so important. Safety reasons, making sure that you're moving well, moving safely. But something I always stress to people that are new to training, when you are training and you're learning something new, a new skill, exercises, for example, Romanian deadlift, great exercise. You want to make sure that you're doing it well from the start because your body's learning that. Your brain is learning that. Those neural pathways are getting set and your body's going to start to think if you're doing something the wrong way, that's how you do it. As you start adding load to that exercise, could go wrong, right? You might be doing your RDLs, big old spinal flexion. Upper back, I don't mind it. Bit of rounding, it's all gravy. Lower back, stay away from it. But if you're doing it on a lightweight, which most people will do, could do an RDL with a barbell with spinal flexion and be safe. What happens when you start getting confident, which you should in the gym, and you're getting stronger, which you should in the gym, and you start loading it up, and your form has been shit from the get-go?
Risky biscuits.
Bang.
When you look at it, it's a skill. It's like anything. Like imagine if you're learning to kick a footy between the posts and you keep kicking and you keep missing, you would start to change things in the way that you're kicking it.
Got to.
So because it's hard with things like that, if you think of it like kicking a soccer ball for a free kick or a footy for the goal post, there's external feedback straight away. You either get it through the post or you don't. And if you don't, you start changing things in terms of what you need to do. And then you keep practicing that. Same thing with the gym, except it's a little bit harder with external feedback because it's more internal based off the way it feels. Can take videos and get external feedback and look at what it should look like versus what it doesn't. But again, it's practicing a skill and that comes with repetition. And the sooner you start practicing it right or more efficiently early on, the more likely you are to perform it when it starts getting harder. Get a coach early on. That's essentially what I'm getting to.
Learn that shit from the get-go, know how to move safely, move well.
Wrapping it up, special mention to Reese, our amazing massage therapist. Him and I used to run a little thing called Hypertential. We used to put this in our email. So nice. I'm going to add a little bit of respect on that because we love this, man. And we tested some things to get the information to the people.
And just to make sure that Reese doesn't think we're stealing his IP and sues us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give him a big kiss on the lips. Beer of the week. Brigger, hit me.
I'm going with what I had on the weekend with you at the beer garden.
Yes, we did.
A very crisp Stone and Wood on tap.
True and true.
It's hard to beat.
It is hard to beat.
Very hard.
Especially on a spring or summer day too. I reckon it's like a 25 and up degree day kind of beer. I mean, you can...
I had it and it was probably 18 degrees on the weekend.
It's pretty fucking cold.
Still tasted pretty fucking good.
I reckon in the bottle, on tap's just as good, but even better. But in the bottle, 25 degrees or up. Get that little bit of fruitiness in there.
Us on the boat at New Year's.
Stop that. That India is ice cold.
What about you?
Mate, I'm going simple for this week. Sometimes you just need consistency in your life. You can go little hero mentality sometimes, but when you really like just the lips are just like tingling for that little crisp, you want something consistent and you want something crispy. That is why I've gone with the Great Northern Super Crisp.
Beat it.
It's the slight just touch of bitterness. It's not too bitter, but the just slight bitterness of it. It just sits so
At the same time.
It's so light and it's just so crispy on the palate. It's really, really hard to go wrong. And you can drink it happy. You can drink it sad. You can drink it cold. You probably can drink it warm too.
I'm salivating.
It'd probably suck,
Yep.
but it's still good.
I'm salivating.
Me too. I actually feel like one. You wanna?
Yeah. I'm going to have to get the fuck off this podcast, I reckon, right now.
Get a cutler. Cheeky ones.
See ya. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Get going.